In 2020, American Airlines was days from collapse. The planes were grounded, revenue had fallen to nearly zero, and the company needed $10 billion fast. What they did next revealed something that almost no one in the public understood about the airline industry. Something that, once you understand, changes how you think about every company you spend money with. They didn't sell the planes. They didn't sell the routes. They didn't sell the airline. They sold a currency. Here's what that means and why it matters far beyond the airline business. American Airlines faced a cash crisis with no warning. In March 2020, the world shut down. Every aircraft in the fleet sat idle. Ticket sales collapsed. Revenue streams dried up in a matter of days. Payroll, leases, and fuel contracts did not. The company's fixed costs continued, burning through cash at a rate that made bankruptcy a real possibility. The board met daily. Liquidity reports arrived every morning. By late March, Americans' cash reserves could not cover another month of obligations. The airline's access to normal credit lines was already strained. Asset sales were impossible. No one wanted to buy grounded planes. No one wanted to lend against routes that no longer had passengers. The company needed $10 billion, not in a year, not in a quarter, within weeks. The alternative was default. Executives searched the balance sheet for anything with value. The answer was not physical, it was digital. A line item that, on paper, looked like a liability. The frequent flyer program, billions of points owed to customers. But in this crisis, that liability became the only asset the market would buy. American Airlines prepared to turn its loyalty program into collateral. The decision would change the company's financial DNA. It would also reveal a hidden engine inside the airline business, one that would soon be worth more than the planes themselves. Commercial aviation in the United States is a high-profile business, but the numbers behind the curtain tell a different story than the one most travelers imagine. Airlines operate on razor-thin margins. In 2024, the combined after-tax profit for all United States passenger carriers was $6.7 billion. That figure covers more than a dozen airlines flying hundreds of millions of passengers. It amounts to less than 1 cent of profit for every dollar in revenue. The industry's entire annual profit could be erased by a single spike in fuel prices, a labor strike, or an unexpected drop in demand. Airlines face relentless fixed costs, aircraft leases, maintenance, airport fees, and payroll. These obligations do not shrink when ticket sales slow. Even in years of record passenger traffic, the sector's aggregate profit rarely exceeds a few percentage points of revenue. The illusion that airlines make money selling seats is persistent, but the data does not support it. Most years, the industry's returns lag behind other major sectors, including retail and manufacturing. For every profitable quarter, there is another marked by losses. This chronic instability has forced airlines to search for revenue streams that are less volatile, more predictable, and insulated from the ups and downs of travel demand. The answer is not found in the fare paid by passengers. It lies elsewhere, outside the cabin, beyond the runway, in a line of business that operates with entirely different economics. A frequent flyer mile is not just a reward, it is a privately issued unit of value. Airlines create these miles in bulk. They do not wait for a traveler to earn them. Instead, they mint billions of miles at once and sell them directly to banks and credit card companies. Each mile is priced between half a cent and 2 cents. The exact price depends on the contract, the card's tier, and the volume purchased. Banks are the largest buyers. They pay airlines up front for the right to distribute miles as credit card rewards. Every time a cardholder swipes, a small fraction of the transaction is converted into miles. The bank pays for those miles in real cash. The airline delivers a digital promise, not a seat. These transactions happen at scale. In a single year, the 3 largest US carriers sell tens of billions of miles to their banking partners. The result is a trade. Banks get a powerful marketing tool, airlines get immediate liquidity. This is not ticket revenue. It is the sale of a synthetic currency minted by airlines, bought by banks, and redeemed by consumers under rules the airline controls. A frequent flyer mile costs the airline about 3/4 of a cent to produce. That figure includes the marginal cost of an empty seat, incremental fuel, and a sliver of program overhead. But banks pay much more, often between 1 and 2 cents per mile when they buy in bulk for credit card rewards. The spread between cost and sale price is not just wide, it is engineered. Airlines sell a digital promise, not a physical seat. When a bank wires tens of millions of dollars to an airline, the airline books the proceeds as deferred revenue. Under ASC 606, the liability sits on the balance sheet until the mile is redeemed or expires. Auditors scrutinize the calculation. Breakage, miles that will never be claimed, reduces the liability and inflates reported revenue. Airlines estimate breakage using historical redemption rates, sometimes as high as 70%. Each quarter, management revises these assumptions. A small tweak in breakage can unlock tens of millions in profit. The accounting is complex, but the economics are simple. The airline creates a unit of value for less than a penny. It sells that unit for up to twice as much. The rest is held as a liability, managed by actuarial models and reviewed by outside auditors. On paper, the business prints money. In practice, it is a high-margin engine hiding inside a low-margin industry. Securities and Exchange Commission filings from 2020 show the real mechanics of survival. Delta Airlines issued $2 billion in notes backed by its SkyMiles program. United Airlines raised $2.5 billion using its Mileage Plus loyalty program as collateral. American Airlines followed with $2.1 billion against its A-Advantage program. These are not theoretical numbers. Each amount appears in the footnotes of the airline's 10K statements for 2020. The filings list the programs, the collateral structure, and the cash raised. Auditors reviewed the structure. The Securities and Exchange Commission required detailed disclosure. The finance teams at Delta, United, and American built these deals in weeks. The result was $6.6 billion in hard cash, delivered while planes sat idle. The loyalty programs, once a marketing tool, became the core financial asset. The paper trail is clear. The hidden engine of the airline business is not in the cabin, it is in the footnotes. Banks do not buy miles for the novelty. They buy a stream of recurring royalty payments that can be projected, modeled, and locked in over years. Delta reported $1.1 billion in co-branded royalty revenue in 2025. United booked $1.3 billion. American added $900 million. These are not one-time windfalls. They are contractual flows, paid in advance, regardless of how many flights are actually taken. The bank's incentive is clear: lock in customers, drive spending, and secure exclusive access to the airline's loyalty base. Airlines, in return, gain a durable source of cash that does not depend on passenger demand. The arrangement is stable, repeatable, and deeply embedded in both industries. Delta's SkyMiles overhaul in 2023 cut earning rates and raised the cost of award tickets. Overnight, millions of customers saw their miles lose value. The public backlash was immediate. In 2024, the Department of Transportation opened a formal investigation. Regulators demanded to know why airlines could change the rules on a product that acts like savings for millions of Americans. Auditors flagged the risk. Delta's own filings showed that if just 5% more miles were redeemed, the airline could lose $80 million in revenue. The entire system depends on breakage and consumer trust. Both are now under scrutiny. The airline playbook is not unique. Tech giants sell cloud credits and data access, not just devices or ads. Retailers profit from private label credit, not just merchandise. Each industry builds a second business beneath the surface, monetizing loyalty, behavior, or infrastructure. The visible product is a decoy. The real value is hidden, engineered, and sold to the highest bidder. The risk is unseen, unregulated, and everywhere. Airlines now carry over $30 billion in loyalty debt, more than the value of their fleets. Every mile sold is private currency outside public oversight. The real business is invisible, but the risk is not. The next crisis will expose who truly owns the skies.